Good morning, everybody. I'm Go Via or Go Home. Welcome to the Sunday Brunch Kit Builds. Every Sunday, we show up, we work on a kit. We'll do some weathering or some graffiti, maybe even work on the layout. Today, I've got a couple of odds and ends that I do want to work on because I don't have an elaborate kit to do. But I do have some trees that I need to finish. And of course, I've got some loads that I need to do some work on as well. So that's what I'll be doing today. A big shout out to everybody who's already here. Welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna take a quick look here, see who's in the house. John gets a cookie. John number 2 as well. Wigwag, Brian, Eminem Rails. Where's Chris? He's super late. Technically, I'm early because I start at 11. So technically I'm on time. Except for the whole countdown thing, but either way. And yeah, so we got Anthony as well. Hey, Anthony. But yeah, so in typical Sunday brunch fashion, I'm gonna put the link in the chat there if anybody is working on something. If you want to come up and share what you're working on and whatnot, you're more than welcome to. Keep it railroad related, and we'll have a good time. So I'm almost through all the big trees. These are all the what are they called again? Super trees. These are all this is like the last lot of all the bigger, these are my filler trees. This is a background tree because it has a much longer stem to it. But yeah, this is basically the last round because I went through my entire box, and as you saw, if you guys had missed the layout update that I posted yesterday, you'll be able to see where I put a lot of these trees, mostly in the one section on the bottom level of my layout. But that's okay because it just means I got to get more of these. So hopefully closer to the summer, I can, order a box because I don't think waiting until January of next year when I go back to the Springfield show just to get one box. I'll probably order a box or two online before then, and then I'll grab a couple when I'm out in Springfield next year. But this is the last of it. I got about 60 big trees out of the whole box, which is really good. But, you need a lot to fill in an area. So I'm hoping that, my second and third box, I'm able to do a lot more on the bottom level. But the cool thing is that if anything ever happens and I have to move or whatever, I'm going to keep every single one of these trees. I'll bag them up and I'll take them to the next layout, and I'll have a whole bunch of trees ready to go. Hey, Dave. Hey, Almar. Trackside Mike and Mr. Dwight Curley. How's it going, everybody? Yes, my P42 is on the way. Hopefully, Mark does a review. I'll probably be doing a review as well, and see what he thinks of it compared to myself. I know I swore off Athearn a while ago, but some locomotives you know that other companies won't be making it. Same thing with the Bachmann, right? I was almost against getting the Bachmann, especially with the fact that the cars were not amazing. But no one else is going to make it, so I had to do that. I had to get it, and I didn't want to miss out. Ben's Trains, how's it going, Ben? Welcome. So we're gonna get started because I've got a lot of little things to work on. So you can way down. Okay, here we go. Okay, so these are my trees. I'm gonna move my little pin board out of the way here because I'm gonna need that for some loads after. So do this. You'll be happy to know that I'm getting a bigger workspace. But that's in like a couple of weeks, so that'll be fun. So I'm gonna take all these out of here because I'm going to do the trees one at a time, and then this is where I put them in my little Canada Post box. What did I receive in here? I don't remember what I received in this box, but it's a very, it's a very sturdy box. So I can put the little holes in the top, and I just put my little trees in there, and they hold really, really well. Here where I live in Ottawa, Canada, the weather has been weird, very, very weird. And it's supposed to be winter, but for some reason I've got like a couple of days where it's super warm, and I was able to go out and spray the trees. This isn't the normal look. If you see, where's a good example? Here's a good example. They're all connected. This is like Velcro, seriously. Okay. So that's like the normal color of it there. So you can obviously see a difference in the color, right? So I use a camo brown for these. I'm gonna add a few other trees later that are, the white. It has a white bark on it, but I want to do all these first, and put these in the background and whatnot. Come on, trees, separate. Okay, so this is going to be the process here. What do I need? I need some more light trees. Well, light and dark. I've got two different colors here. Good to mix it up a bit. And this is all I do. I use hairspray because this is probably the most easy version of doing this. There's another way you can do it where you basically you take like a 50-50 glue and water, unless it's more like a hodgepodge. I don't remember. It's like scenic cement or whatever you call it. And then basically you dip it in, you dip the whole thing in, and then you do your sprinkle on and whatnot. But it sounds very messy. So I'm using hairspray. The hairspray, I can guarantee you, I mean, you saw my other trees, it does work. So just go with an extra hold hairspray. I got mine from, I think it was the dollar store, and it was a couple of bucks. Flexi Hold Anti-Humidity. New York, London, Toronto, Tokyo, Paris. Yeah, because all the big name fashion show people are using dollar store hairspray, right? All right, so I just give it a spray as I'm spinning it. Then I grab a handful, and we just leave the rest to your imagination here, because see what I did there? Now the cool thing about this is that because the branches and the little ends of the branches, they stick out, and when you sprinkle this on, it literally just lands on the edge of your tree, or the end of the branch, because you don't, obviously the leaves don't grow off the trunk, the main part going up, right? So when it sticks to the end, it makes it look more realistic and puffy. So, and then once I do one coat of that, I'll spray it just to kind of seal that. And then maybe I'll add a bit more on areas that I might have missed. I find that the hairspray does dry really quick. So you almost have to do the 2 coats or 3 coats. And then that's your tree. There's nothing to it. And it's one of those things where if you worry, worry about doing certain things in the hobby because it sounds really tough. Like I tried making the woodland scenics trees, and even though I was able to kind of do it, they don't look anywhere near as good as this. A and B, I didn't really like how they looked. They didn't look realistic enough. Where this looks way better. Now I could also do a lighter shade on the top there. So I'm just going to seal that. Oh, there's a... No, okay. So I'm going to sprinkle a little light stuff on there too. And I'm going to get rid of that. What appears to be a cat hair. I don't know if Midas was making trees down here, but there we go. Just to add a bit of different look. There we go. And I'm just going to seal that in a little bit. And I'll let this dry. I probably won't be adding that to the layout until like later on tonight. But I mean, I could do it, you know, in an hour or two if I really wanted to. I guess I could use spray. Yeah, you could do spray paint. Honestly, like I don't know, the camo brown works really, really well. It is a little bit darker than what I hoped. But honestly, trying to match browns, especially with outdoor lighting, is not the easiest thing. Doing a lighter green for this one, just kind of. And these little bags, these bags of leaf or tree or whatever, I mean, I don't waste any of it because obviously you see it all lands on here, and then I put whatever I don't use back into the bag. And even going through as many trees as I have, I've still got more than half a bag in here. These will probably do a good 200 trees each, I want to say. So I actually go through more hairspray than actual leaf flocking here. Cool, right? You always want to do another spray on them just to seal it in. Doesn't hurt. The difference between the hairspray and the glue, for those who don't know, is that the glue, when you dip it in the glue water, basically that coats the whole thing. and then basically it protects the the stem of it and whatnot, which is a good idea, but it's not a huge deal for me. They will last as long as they will last, and that's about it. Do I think that I'm going to have these trees 50 years from now? Probably not. Morning, Floyd. I like to use the tall ones in the back, so the ones that have a bit more of a stem to them. That way they stand up taller and you don't have all this bare spot right in the front here, right? You can put the low ones that are fuller right in front and it'll look like it almost creates a wall. That's my my tip. Mark, if I order some of these from the States, do you want me to order you a box? I think it'll make a huge difference on the layout. And you can kind of chip away at it. Or if you want me to make you some trees, I don't mind doing this. This is fun, mindless work for me. I know that spray painting, if you're in a building, spray painting might be a little bit on the tough side. So if you want me to make you a bunch of trees and then you just come by and pick them up, I'd probably have them on a thing like this. And then you take them home and you transplant them, more or less. Put them on your layout wherever you want them. And here's the thing. I use wood glue. So I put a hole just like this on my layout somewhere. I honestly, I just use a little screwdriver head like this because they're about the same size, right? And I put the hole in and I leave it there like that. And then I put some wood glue on the end here, and then I put it in like that, and it usually stays. It holds pretty well. If I need to prop it up, whatever. Wood glue dries really fast too. I use the Lepage stuff, and yeah, like I said, it dries really quick. So, and it holds really well. There we go. I'm starting to get scare on doing the trees today. But you get the store and order a case box. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, I think next year when we go, I'm gonna end up getting like 2 or 3 boxes. Just because I see how far one gets you, and one is pretty good, like, doing 50 some odd trees. But when you look at the area that I did with the 50 some odd trees, it's not a huge area. That's why a lot of guys that have forested areas, like I think Split Rock said he's got a few thousand trees. So for me to have 50 trees, it's doesn't seem like a lot compared to thousands, right? The cool thing with being able to do this stuff is that there's so many different things with the hobby that you can work on. You don't always have to make trees. That way you're not really getting bored of just, oh, all I've been doing for the past month is making tree after tree after tree. I commissioned the neighbor's kid to come in and make some trees for me too, just because I'm so sick of making trees. You don't have to do trees all the time. I've got what honestly feels like 50 projects on the go at one given time. And only one of those things is, making trees. But I don't do that all day, every day. I think I've done a couple of these shows where I've done trees and it's like 15, 20 minutes and I do, a full box load of these trees. So what happens is that you don't really get bored of just doing one thing over and over again. You can go do some wiring, go do some, weathering of something. And for me lately, I've been going back and updating a lot of sections on my layout, making them look a little bit better. And that's been kind of the thing doing these last few months. Do this. Don't overthink things. Sometimes overthinking things are bad. It's fine if you want to get it right, but honestly, like with these here, it's nothing too crazy, you're just making a tree. It doesn't have to be complicated. If I want to do complex stuff, I'll do wiring. But right now I'm just doing this because it's very easy peasy. There's certain things with the layout too where you can't do this one thing until you finish this other thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just me, but when I get certain things knocked off the list, it opens up another list almost. And then I'm like, okay, well, now that I'm done that, I can do this and this. Which I don't mind, obviously. But, you just create more work for yourself. It happens. It all goes right back into the bag. There's just obviously a few crumbs here and there that, that fall, but whatever. So Anthony, I do that when I paint them. So I'll put the clothespin on there and then I spray it and then I have it hanging like that off a clothesline in my garage. That's really just till it dries, and then once it's done drying, I put them in my little pegboard here and then I leave them. I leave them alone. That's right. Layouts are never really done. However, you can get scenes and whatnot to a point that you're happy with. Like there's certain things on your layout where you're like, okay, well, I'll come back and I'll, add this later, but I don't need to do it right now because there's more pressing things to to work on. There's things that we're going to spend a bit more time on than other things. Like guys that love doing their electrical stuff and their wiring, they will sometimes take a little bit longer on stuff like that, opposed to, scenery stuff or maybe weathering. Maybe they don't like doing the weathering side of it, so they have everything look clean. And then there's guys like me. I'm not a big electrical guy. I keep the electrical simple. So I don't spend that much time on doing electrical stuff. But nowadays I'm doing a lot of this, and I'm doing a lot of the going back and weathering, building kits and whatnot, making sure that they look a little bit more realistic, add a bit more detail and whatnot. Mike H.O. Trains knows exactly what I'm talking about. If you've seen his stuff, then how's it going, Mike? What I might have to do as well, in an area where I have some of these trees, I've got a little birdhouse that you can mount to a wall, or I guess in this case a tree. I'm gonna glue it right to the tree, just to kind of make it look like, oh, it's a bird's home there. That was I think it's a kit that Mini Prints has. It's not really a kit. It's just a printed display item. Do I call it a display item? I don't know. Yeah, the background trees help a lot. It definitely does fill things out. Oops. Thanks, Mike. You too. I got to get Mike over here one time. Get him to do a couple of scenes for me, see what he can add, and put his little spin on it, where, because he does a really good job of detailing things. You'd love that. I'd love that. Are you kidding me? That'd be friggin' awesome. It's weird when you do work sometimes. It's I'll look at something. It doesn't even have to be train related. It could be like a picture. You paint a picture or you draw a picture. The way you look at it is going to be totally different from the way that someone else will look at it. And when someone says to you, "Wow, that looks amazing," or "You did an amazing job on that," you appreciate the compliment, of course. But sometimes it's a lot harder for the person themselves to see, because they don't, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or whatever, but you just got to be happy with it at the end of the day. Yeah. That's the thing with shelf layouts, right? Like when you're when you have a shelf layout, you only have limited amount of space. And hit the same. Doesn't quite hit the same for sure. But you've got like that photo ready kind of layout. You know what I mean? Like it's the whole thing is just crazy good. So can't be too upset. Down to 2 more trees here. I might actually do that one up there. I had one that kind of broke because I don't know if I was like handling it weird or it just broke in transition here because I moved it from upstairs to down here, and during that process it might have dropped or something. I don't remember what happened. I'm gonna need to go get another one of these hairsprays soon. Actually, I think I might be able to finish everything I've got here with that, but I do have to go through and look for little bushes and whatnot now. That'll be the tough part because it's a lot harder to deal with the very small ones opposed to these big ones that are a little bit more fuller. There we go. Perfect. Well, at least to me, it's perfect. Might not be perfect, but getting it done. Let me take a look at this broken one. Okay, so here's the thing. So that was the stem of it there, and then there's the rest of it. So what I can do probably is trim some of this off here near the bottom. Actually, hello. I'm going to create a new bottom to it. It's a bit of a smaller tree now, but corrected it, and now it's an extra tree. So there. Oops. Yeah, I'm just real happy with the way these look opposed to the Woodland Scenics ones. They turn out really, really well. And honestly, I wish I had got these sooner because it just makes everything look way better. Okay, I believe most of this was the lighter green, so let's put it in with that. Okay, so I do have a bunch of little pieces here. I don't even think it's worth touching that stuff right now because got no room on my board anyway. So oh, the newer Ecos, Mike Ho Trains, Trackside Mike owns one, and I know Bubs owns one, Bub031. And I think James Dundas Junction, he got one as well. They're honestly an amazing locomotive. Well, Bowser in general is amazing, but yeah, that locomotive, it's a lot newer than some of their other ones that they put out. I'm a big fan of their SD40s. I've got a couple, and then I've got a bunch on the way, which will probably be like September's problem. Probably have to deal with that in September. That is, if that's when they show up. I'm pretty sure it's at some point this year, but and this is why I keep my little my little spray booth right here, because I was able to do all the spraying here, and then obviously I did all my trees very easily. I'll probably get rid of that though once I'm done trees because I won't need it anymore. I know I'm gonna be like when I clean up my space and like I'm getting a new desk and whatnot, so I'm just gonna redo this whole area and clean it up, make it a little bit better. Because even though I like this space and I like the desk, it's not big enough. And I've got a lot of stuff here that I've made a mess. So, but anyways, next project, because that's what I'm doing today. I'm getting these all off the list, So a month ago, or within a month, I should say. Yeah, it was about a month ago. I got 6 more of these. It's the Otter Valley pipe load car. Well, it's a bulkhead pipe load car. And these are very nice. You've seen me weather these. Did some weathering back in January on some of these. But what I'm going to do, because I've got so much pipe, I just have so much. I got to do the tips on these. When I was at the Springfield show, I took 2 of my cars and 3 sets of pipe, and there was a gentleman who saw my car and he really liked it, and he said, "Can I just buy your weathered car with the pipe load in there and everything?" So we made a deal basically. So I gotta replace that car now, right? Because I miss my yellow pipe loads. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to dip me some new ones. So that's basically all it is. It's just the yellow paint. I also have one that's green and one that's orange. You can also do red and blue. I might do a blue one too soon. Because I like all the different colors, but I want to try a couple of different ones. And all the color means in real life. So they dip the end where the threaded rod is, and each color represents a certain psi pressure that pipe can handle. I don't know what color represents what psi, but yeah, just do a little variation, and there you go. The RS3s look nice too. I do not have a fan in the box, John, unfortunately. So I'll be smelling like a hair salon all day. When I say it's a spray booth, I don't mean that in the technical term to which it would have an exhaust system and all that. It's just a cardboard box. Just so I don't get hairspray all over the wall. I should have been more exact with that. Yeah, these are a little bit of a pricier car, but the quality is there. And as far as detail goes, some people are okay with just a car that runs, and then they can either add their own detail or they don't need a lot of detail. They just want an abundance of cars. And believe me, I've got cars from many different manufacturers, ranging from Walthers. I've got some blue box stuff. I have Rapido and Exact Rail. Atlas. Anybody who's made cars. I got Athearn cars too. Even what is it? North American Rail Car. They make some really nice stuff. I've got their cylindrical hoppers. They're really nice, especially when you put them, mix them in with the Intermountain and the Walthers. They really stand out. But I'll mostly just get stuff that I need or I require for my layout. No sense in paying extra for things that you don't need, right? Some things you don't realize you need until somebody makes it too. And of course, with this week, I think it happened on March 1st, which was a couple of days ago. You guys know that I've been working on that chocolate factory, and I was talking about getting some reefer cars. Now, the funny thing is that I was already planning on getting some reefer cars just to, transport refrigerated goods because I don't have any. I'm yet to own a reefer. O&R, like the Ontario Northland, just had 2 or 3 reefer cars delivered, and they're O&R cars now. It's their rolling stock, which is really cool because I was wondering what road name can I get to run, for the O&R cars, or to run with my O&R or CN and all that. And yeah, here they come with the chevrons on the side, and it says Ontario Northland. It's an all white car with the yellow chevrons. So I'm like, I'm sold. So I did order some. I ordered a couple. And when they do show up, it'll be a Sunday project, just like this here. And I will be working on decaling a couple of reefer cars. It'll be another project. I'll only get what I need. Yeah, it's tough sometimes. It's the whole need versus want, right? Well, that's Dave, right? Dave has a lot of willpower when it comes to stuff like this, and he runs CP, so he has a good selection of CP stuff to buy, where I'm very limited with Ontario Northland. That's why when something like the cabooses came out, I got all the cabooses. When the ore cars, the barrel ore cars came out, I got all the barrel ore cars, because you don't see a lot of Ontario Northland stuff get made. So when they do, I get a bunch. So right now I am dipping the ends of the pipe loads for the bulkhead pipe car. So all these load into here, but I dip the ends. Have you seen the new Walther's tank cars? They are out now, I think. Vegetable oil. I believe so. Don't they have Procore ones? I think one of the names was Procore that they did. I've got a couple of the old Walthers. It was like a 2-pack, but I could use some more for sure. They're very small, right? The smaller gallon size ones, like 20,000 gallon, I think. Oh, I like my auto racks. I wish my layout was bigger so that I could do like a whole auto rack facility. But you need an awful long stretch of straight track for that, let me tell you. Because they are big cars. Ooh. Running out of pins, and I still have more. Oh well. We'll have to do a second lot of these then. I think if I do one car's worth a week, then I should have this done in a month. So if I do one of these each show, should be all right. There we go. Yeah, that's a cool looking car. I found the decals for that. There's a Homer one and a Marge one. I found the decals online, but I'd want to do the the actual car that they used, or that was actually decaled. So I'd have to find the right car first. The scale trains refrigerated cars with sound. There was a guy at the club, because there's a local train club to me, the Ottawa one, and he had the other ones. I think they were what are they, Broadway Limited? Did the other reefers with sound? He had them on a siding, and as long as there was power to the siding, then they'd be making sound. And it came across more as a novelty than useful. You know what I mean? It's neat when you think about it, but I feel like it would get annoying after a while. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, I've got a few more, but I don't want it the ends touching other ends. I don't want to get paint on other ones, so I just gotta. Oh, okay, you can fit another one there. Maybe I can do this one here. We'll see. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay. So that's all the ones that I can fit on there for now. I think I've got about 50 or 60 pipes per car here. So quite a bit. And I just want to move that out of the way because there's a lot of pipe there. That'll take about, 3 hours to dry, like, if I just leave it. So next project. I am just getting so many projects off my list today. Let me tell you how good that feels. It feels so good. So the next thing that I'm looking at here, a couple of weeks ago, I had started making more of these little beaver lumber loads. Say that 20 times fast. Beaver lumber load. And the only thing I'm missing are the little shims that go between the loads. And it makes it look like, I can do this without breaking anything. Makes it look like that. See how there's like the little spacers so that you can get your fork truck or truck fork in there. Gotta take one of these out though so I can measure that. But yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to add little 2x4s, 2x4s under all these. Hey Steve, how's it going? Welcome. I am running out of matchsticks. What am I supposed to do when I run out of matchsticks? These ones work so well, and I don't know if you can. Does anybody? Can you find these anywhere in particular? Redbird? I don't know, but I'm gonna have to get more. I still have to make a pipe load for Bubs, because I was making. Look at this, and I hit up the local McDonald's establishment, and whenever I go through the drive-through, I'm like, "Hey, can I have an extra straw, please?" So you do that a couple hundred times, and you get pipe loads. Also, I mostly get that stuff as takeout. So when I get home, instead of using the straw that they already gave me, I'm just like, I'm gonna pour it into a cup. So that helps too. Did I not choose the right knife? I don't think this is my sharp one. Where is my sharp one? Doesn't look like it's that one. Yeah, because he was making his own type of loads there. Now I can at least get 2, maybe 3 out of 1. Should be good. Can I get another one out of that? No, it'd have stuff on the end. No, Dave Coe is another one of our friends here. He was making some loads for some flat cars, and he uses matchsticks as well. Quite a few things that you can actually make with matchsticks, and that, like, I've made railroad crossings, like wood crossings, which is really neat. Of course, I do different loads for different things, and I like using these as spacers, like little 2x4s. So there's quite a few things. Okay, so maybe that's how I get 3 out of 1. Okay. So I need 3, 6, 9. 9, 9 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 24. So I need 24 gross. Okay. Well, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I need 20 more. So while we are cutting up some matchsticks. Hey, Chris, how's it going? I want to remind everybody, of course, we're going to do the trackside barbecue this year. And that is going to be September 1st, which I believe is the Sunday for the long weekend. And that'll be out here, in Smiths Falls. So if you do plan on coming up for that, let me know. Because I normally have burgers and stuff, and I want to make sure that I've got enough burgers for everybody. Last year it was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. Honestly, it was so nice, and caught some cool trains. It's a CP yard, but you do see, of course, Via runs through there as well, and then whatever CP has on there, pull in their stuff. I've seen Union Pacific roll through there. That was kind of neat. Some of the veterans units. I've seen veterans units roll through there. Some random stuff too, like leased units. And of course, you get to hang out with fellow model railroaders as well, so that's always fun. So let me know if you're coming to that, because we've been doing it for the last couple of years, and it gets a little bigger every year. Eventually, we're going to have to get the thing catered, but come shake hands with Trackside Mike. I should have led with that. It was quite a few of us last year, and we even did a group photo as a P-42 was rolling by. And I know the guy who was driving it, and he was hanging out the window waving. He got in the picture too. That's funny. Chris, if you come, honestly, like, that would be amazing. So just, put Miss Falls down on the whatchamacallit in your notes. Smiths Falls. There's a museum, a railroad museum in the same town. So, if you're down for a couple of days, lots to see. There's a couple of shops around too. Merrickville is not too far from there. I think it's like a 10, 15-minute drive down the road. And in Merrickville, they have Larkspur. So Larkspur it's a lot smaller of a shop. They do have new and used stuff, like some consignment. And it's honestly a shop like that where you're going to find some of that stuff that has been, you know, long out of production. Maybe some random stuff. I got my controller holders, the for the fascia from there. So I guess somebody had 3D printed some and dropped some off or whatever. And I'm like, I've been needing to get one of these, and it worked really well. I think it was like $8 or $10, something like that. Yeah, I think that was engineer Mike. Mike, I think it was Mike Lithorn, right? If that's how you pronounce his name. So many Mikes and Johns. Yeah, I was feeling like a tomato by the end of that day. It's a good thing that Mark brought a tent. It was like, those things where it's like you set it up and it has a canopy or whatever to it. He set that up for the wives because some of the guys brought their wives and some of the guys brought their dogs too. And yeah, it was a whole rigmarole. No one brought their cats though. Kind of sad about that. Probably for the best because they scare easy. Oh, you know Mike though as well, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, Mike's a good guy. I always bug him for his Via Rail jacket. I'm like, how do I get one of those? He's like, well, you got to drive. I'm like, so how do I drive? Let me drive. I'd be happy just to drive the train. Forget the jacket. Jeez. Okay, so there's my 24. I guess it's 25. I don't mind having a couple extra. Hey Perry. Yeah, we'll have to do something soon. It'll probably be like a smaller crowd. I don't know. I don't know if we can organize something bigger before then, but I'm sure we can do something. My schedule changes in April, so I have every other weekend off. So that means that um, I have a bit more time to hang around every other weekend. Instead of, well, no, I got to be home by 4 o'clock, and it takes me about 45 minutes to get home, and all that nonsense. So it'll be a little bit easier to do stuff. Yes, these are lumber loads. So I took the Walthers. Walthers has these lumber things. I'll show you what it looks like. This is a smaller one. You get two different sizes in a pack. This one, and then you get the larger one. I think these are 16 footers, and these are 10 footers or something like that. 8 footer versus 16 foot. No, that would be half. So this is probably a 10 footer, and this is a 16 footer. So I wrap it with real garbage bag, and that's why it looks like there's plastic wrapping on it. And our good buddy Mark from M&M Rails, he printed me off, and I'm pretty sure I can show you. Well, the piece of paper was a lot bigger, like a full sheet of paper, and he printed me off like 20. And it's a whole bunch of little Beaver Lumber logos. I've got two different colors. I've got like a green, and then I've got the yellow. Also, I did find out who it was that was selling the Beaver Lumber decals at the Berry show, and I'm just in contact with them. probably going to be getting some to do some trucks. I would love to make more beaver lumber trucks. So I gotta obviously order them, but yeah. So anyway, so obviously I wrap it with the garbage bag. I cut a little square out, fold it out like it's a Christmas present. I use my, what is this called? Bob Smith Industries Instacure, and it holds the plastic really, really well. And then I cut out, for the bigger one, I cut out a strip of 4 beaver lumber, and I put it right on the face like that. And I use white glue for that. The white glue holds it. I don't have any issues of them coming off or anything like that, so that's good too. And then I just glue these little 2x4 things on the bottom. And then that way the forklift can get in there and lift out each individual, I don't know if it's a skid or what, but yeah, I just glue the 3 on the bottom there. There we go. So I just do this repeatedly, and I still have to fill up the other side of the car. I just have this this done here. I need the 3, and then that fills up here, but I got to do the other side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to weather the car, and then I'm going to use the string or the rope to tie these back so they don't fall out. And then, yeah, do the same thing on the other side as well. And I've been working on this for a while because it takes time, just like everything else, right? You can't rush it. Hey, Gavin, how's it going? Yep. Now, obviously, the cheaper alternative that I probably should have done was, finding a block of wood that would be the same size as probably these, but I didn't. And I just buy the plastic lumber kit, which is obviously what I've got wrapped here in the plastic. I just got a text message from somebody, but I can tell it's a wrong number because they're looking for Mary, and my name's not Mary. And they want to go play golf tomorrow. And I'm not going to play golf on a Monday. So maybe I should reply and be like, oh, I don't know. No, that'd be mean. I think I'm just going to stay home tomorrow. That's what I should do. All right. And of course, I don't know how long it takes for the stuff to dry, but I'm sure if you give it, an hour, it'll be dry, and then you can stack them up on your car and take a look. And no, I got one recently, but yeah, they go pretty quick. Oh, and side note, there is these metal racks that you can, the ones that you find in like Home Depot and whatnot, where it's like just shelving. The small ones, these ones here that they come with, these fit into the shelving things really, really well. So I've got a couple of those at the Beaver Lumber place on my layout, and I'm just loading them up with the smaller ones because I really just need the big ones for the cars. So I've got an abundance of the small ones. So I put the racks there, and they fit on the racks really, really well. And yeah, so I'm building the lumber stuff. It's taking a little bit, but I'm getting there. But I only bought one pack of the racks because it's the kind of thing where I'm like, do I want to use these? Am I sure about this? And yeah, it turns out they're not that bad, so might get more, but not a huge deal. The Beaver Lumber that I lived next door to growing up had yellow and green trucks, but later when they replaced the truck, it was only a beige color with black emblem and name. I have one truck, one like like the 18-wheeler truck. It's the green and yellow. I like that look personally. And then of course I was sent this little guy here. That's a Beaver Lumber. Focus, darn you. Dave sent me that. I want to put lights in it and stuff. That'll be cool. That'll be a neat little project. Again, I've got like a million little projects on the go, but until I get those LEDs, I can't do nothing with it. And then I'll probably wrap one of these lumber loads, the small ones, like I've already got one on the back there. That's why it's sitting on there like that. And I'll put lights on the car, tie it down to the flatbed there. Have fun with it. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about putting lights on it because then I know that it's tied to one specific spot and it can't move beyond that. So there's that. But at the same time, it'll look so cool. I was quite inspired by the car that Mike got. I don't know the name of the company that makes it, but at the show, he got this truck. It lights up and everything. And I'm like, I want to see if I can do that with a vehicle. And I don't want to ruin my buses. And then I've got a couple of cars that I can try it with. But I think that something like that and detailing it would look really cool. Because even the truck that Mike H.O. Trains did for me, that looks really cool too. But I wish the lights worked. And I'm like, what if I add lights to it? Can I add lights to it? It's hard to say. I'd have to really take a look at it. East Coast Electronics, possibly. Oh, is it? Is it a scam? Oh, okay. Then I will not reply. They're always coming up with new crafty ways. Whether it's the CRA or like them pretending to be the Canadian Revenue Agency, or now in this case, trying to tempt me with golfing. Don't tempt me with your good time. But yeah, still too cold to go golfing, I think. Well, at least like the grass is all gross out, so I'll save it for the hardcore golfers. I'm not hardcore. Voila. Okay, that's 3, 6, 7, 8 more loads done. And that means I'm completely done one side because I just needed 2 more. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means I'll need one more package of this stuff here to finish the other side of the car. The race is on, Chris. If you want these, you better get them before I do. I'm gonna buy them all. I think it was 3 packs to do one side of the car. I think. No one knows. Okay, so I'm just going to slightly move these out of the way. Okay, so I went from doing trees to pipe loads to lumber loads. I should have called this live something about get a load of this or something. Get a load of these trees. And then I'm talking about loads and trees at the same time. I saw your video with the Mini Prince garbage bin. Look at the bale truck. I bet one would work. I'll send you some pics. Yeah, I actually, because the truck that you sent me, right? I took the backing off, and there's 2 different size bins. I got one in January, which is a lot longer, but the smaller one that I got last month, it fits perfectly. Goes right to here, and it sits on there very, very nice. I could do a thing where I switch it out every so often, but that to me that sounds like unnecessary work. So what I'm either going to do is I'm going to find another one of these trucks. It doesn't have to be Beaver Lumber, but I'm going to make the bin into an AIM recycling, and then I'm going to paint it black, put the AIM logo on the side, and it's just going to be a truck with an AIM thing on it. The other one that's longer will go with my scrapyard because it's, I can do AIM with that, no problem. But like, yeah, this truck here, very nice, and I want to find another one now. But yeah, we should go this summer. Where are we going this summer? Mike is planning something. Uh-oh. I'll have to take a look and see what that is. Well, I know there's a couple more trucks that I want to get off of you, Dave. So yeah, let me know if you've got another one of those types that you'd be willing to spare. It's a lot easier than me going store to store, being like, "Do you have this?" If you already have one, then I'll just take the back off of it and. How many do I need? 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. And I have a short one. I've got a couple of different lengths here. I usually, if I get one that's from a different restaurant, they are super long. So I have to cut it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is all I need. So Bubs wanted me to make him a load, and I'm sure there was other people that need me to make a load as well. Nice, Dave with the hookups. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, man. Because honestly, it's what this hobby is about. Helping everyone out, and like, seriously, it's we're all having fun here. We're all doing the same thing. I wish I had another. Nice. Okay, that worked out a little too well, I think. Where am I? Oh, you're there. Now I gotta find a couple of super straight pins. These are the pins that I use to hold down my cork when I'm, you know, gluing cork down. And they're your basic sewing needle, you know. I got two little boxes of these. It gives you about 200. But like, then this happens, right? It honestly happens. Or the little ball comes off the top. I've got some needles in here that are just needles without the ball. So that happens. And yeah, I just hang on to them because they're, it's whatever. It's just a hold down cork. Anyway, so these are what I used on this little pin board here to hold up these, hold up those pipes. So now I need to be able to paint these pipes. If anybody else has a Rapido bulkhead, because I know it'll fit a Rapido bulkhead. If anybody has a Rapido bulkhead and they want a pipe load like what I make, which is that the bigger green pipe that goes underground. I think it's not sewage, but it's that's probably could be sewage. I don't know what they use it for, but I like making the pipe loads for the bulkheads as well. It just takes me a while because obviously, like, I get my straws from fast food. Mike's still cleaning up his tornado mess. No worries. No worries. I made Mike a couple of lumber, or not lumber loads, the pipe loads as well. Because he ended up getting some of the Rapido bulkheads. I'm sure if you have a non-Rapido bulkhead, it would fit too, but I would need to know the length that you would need because I don't cut these at all. That's like right out of the package. That's the size that I use. So if it's too long, it'll be a lot harder to cut it down. You know, when it's all together, because I glue them together and I make a little bundle load. I enjoy making them too. So. Unless you want like 10 cars worth, which might be a lot of straws, because I do 9 straws per car. If you save up a bunch of straws and you like throw them my way, I mean, I could totally do that for you. Honestly, it's not doesn't take much to do these, and I'll show you. Okay, I think that there's another straight one. Okay. All right. So these pipes being a little bit bigger, they, you know. Hopefully the weight of this holds it down, because this is just foam core board that I've got here. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, put these ones back. I had just enough. Okay, so I always use something like this here. That's a piece of cardboard. It's a little stiffer, but this here I found this foam core board, so I'm going to use this. I don't even care, because I did not full on prepare to do these, but we've got about, a half hour, so might as well do a couple, because I got to do it anyways. Always be careful you don't prick yourself, blah, blah, blah. And I use turquoise paint. Turquoise. You can get it at the dollar store, because why not? Acrylic turquoise paint. It doesn't run or anything, and it takes a couple hours to dry. You don't have to stress about it taking forever or whatever. Pretty sure this was the turquoise paint, but I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, no, it wasn't. I think this was the turquoise. Where's my turquoise? That's gross. That, I don't know what that is. Okay, maybe I don't have turquoise. Unless this is the turquoise. No, that's like a light blue. So many colors. So many things to do. This is the green that I used for the green pipe. So that's why I keep that close. And this here has to be... Okay, so it's all dried up now, so I should just throw that out. It's gross. I mean, it's not a huge deal because it's the same color, so yeah, maybe I'll just use it. Save myself the aggravation of trying to find a new whatchamacallit. And I use my cruddy brush. Dave sent me a couple of pictures. Okay, deleted the golf question. Because I don't need to get scammed today. Not today. Ooh, okay. Yeah, like that one as well. I'm not sure which one I like more, Dave. Possibly the one with the backing, where the backing, like the middle one, where the backing can probably come off. Well, I'm sure the backing will come off of all of them, but although the top one looks good too. Shoot, I don't even know. No, I'll let you pick for me. And the Cube van, definitely. And I think you have that CN one still. I'd probably take both of those. Yeah, but I would keep it I'd put the O&R logo on the back of it, if I'm being honest. What I would probably do is I would take the cube, put it on the back of the yellow cab, and make that put like the O&R on it and make it look like the O&R one, and then take the blue cab, put the garbage bin on the back of that. That might be what I'd have to do. Oh, there's a specific one? Thing is that these bins here are where they were 3D printed. They were the mini prints ones, so I want to try to use them in different ways. And I think that if I put it on a whatchamacallit, on the back of a truck, I think that'd be kind of cool. Okay, so that's how it'll work. I just paint it, and then it'll be good. So again, this is just a yellow, or not yellow. Wow, I was staring at these. This is just a turquoise acrylic paint from the dollar store or Dollarama, buck or two, whatever you want to call it, whatever's close to you. And yeah, so this is what it looks like. I use a lot of these, the Deco Art acrylic. It gets the job done. Good for mixing as well. I mix a lot of my own colors sometimes, depending on if I can't find what I'm looking for or if I just want to try something fun. Goes on real nice, and in some cases I do two coats because I don't try to pile the paint on here. But yeah, because you want to make it smooth, right? Bubs will be most happy that I've made him a pipe load. Now, I can only do, obviously, 90% of the pipe because I'm not about to get, paint all over my fingers. So I'll do the 90%, and then once that dries, I'll go back and I'll do the other end. Always make sure you do the inside as well, even if it's just the end. Because you don't want it's supposed to be this color plastic, this turquoise, all the way through. So if Chris is still in the chat there, because he sent me a picture, a screenshot of my layout video the other day when I did a layout update. He's like, those cars in the back there, did you make those? Yep. This is exactly the process. Not the car. I didn't make the car. Those are just Rapido bulkheads, the new ones that they threw off a mountain. When you know, you know. But yeah, I take the straws, I paint them turquoise, I put the whatchamacallits, these things, the shims between them, and I go 3-3-3, making a 9 pipe load. And then I have the Woodland Scenics telephone pole system, and the wires that connect from pole to pole, they give you an abundance of extra wire for some reason, despite the fact that they only give you 4 poles. So I have a lot of extra wire. It's not so much string. It feels like a little bit like thicker than thread. So that's why I went with that. Because yeah, I don't know. It looks better than string. String is very thin. Hey Ashton, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I go live every Sunday. I don't know if you're aware. We do kits, we do graffiti. Sometimes I'll work on my layout. But today I did some trees, which was the first thing I did. I made some realistic looking trees. And then I dipped the end of all these pipes here. You can see the yellow tips on the black rods there. Those are for a bulkhead pipe load car. And then I made some lumber loads, which I needed to finish these off by putting the little 2x4s on the bottom of all of them. They're drying right now. And now, ow, totally stabbed myself. I'm making these pipe loads for a friend. So yeah, it's fun. I like doing this stuff. And I use 2 pins through there because they kind of go like this. So then when you they scissor open, so when you close them and you put the pipe in, they reopen and it holds it. That's why these are standing so well. Oh, you've seen my layout. Okay. Good. Yeah, this is basically me trying to do as much as I can in 2 hours because I work evenings. So every Sunday I try to do some stuff that'll be for the layout and whatnot, things that I can kind of chip away at. I also look for different ways to do things, right? Like you can go out and you can buy lumber loads and all that stuff, and it's fine. You end up spending however much on them. But, a lot of people complain because it's like, well, I want loads that are for a particular company, or, why doesn't anybody make this or make that? So in some cases, you kind of have to make your own until a company does kind of come forward and say, okay, well, we're making these. Like you don't see too many beaver lumber vehicles being made. Athearn is doing a bit more as far as vehicles and whatnot, but they charge an arm and a leg for them. It's crazy. I don't mind the Walthers ones. The Walthers one's cool. I have to get some of they have Canada Post trucks, so I would like to get some of those at some point. Because they still have those trucks today. See them all the time. There we go. Scott Rails, how's it going? Thanks for joining. We are trying to do as much as we can in a little amount of time. I think I've done, this is my third load type today that I've been working on. Did lumber loads, did a different type of pipe load, and now I'm doing this pipe load. I think I still have to do one more of these for me. I know I'm doing a couple for other people, but I think I still need one more because I've got three bulkhead cars and I only have 2 loads so far for myself. So I think I'll probably have to do another one at some point for me. No rush though. It's on the list, right? Hey Ron, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Also, everybody, don't forget, tomorrow is Monday. That means Off the Track Monday with Mike and James, Dundas Junction Model Railroad, and Trackside Mike, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Always up to no good, those two. I seem to remember in Aurelia, the building supply companies mainly used a flatbed single and double axle two-person cab internationals. Yeah, there's wow, got paint on me. Yeah, there's so many different variations of things too. I was actually at the local AIM facility here in Ottawa a week ago or so. I know I don't ever talk about like personal stuff on my lives, but my father-in-law got in a really bad car accident. He's okay, but the car had to get towed out because it's obviously not drivable. And then I had to go to the scrapyard to basically empty it out, get all his personal stuff and all that. They are fixing it. Doesn't make sense to fix it. There wasn't much left to it, but they're like, no, it'll cost about 17,000 to fix it, so we'll fix it. But if you guys have ever driven a car that's ever, repaired, they don't run the same if it's been in an accident. So kind of sucks, but when you still owe money on a vehicle, it's probably better than, not having a vehicle at all. Do you remember the Rapido Canadian? Yes, there was the Via Rail version, and then there was two versions of the CP, the maroon version, and then they also did a Pac-Man version. They're kind of reissuing that now, but they're piecing it out as opposed to it being a box set, which I know a lot of people are 50-50 about. Either they're like, I want the box set. I want a cool commemorative box because that would be cool. And then there's some people who are like, box sets are way too expensive. Can we like do this in singles, Especially with a pack like that where it's like 10 cars or so, in the whole thing. It's $1,000 or more set. It's not a cheap hobby. There was okay, so I only mentioned three versions. What were the other three versions of the Canadian? Because I only remember the Via Rail version in the obviously the blue and yellow with the silver cars, and then the Pac-Man version, so silver cars with the red stripe, and then the maroon ones. You've got three. Oh man, I feel like I knew that because you had sent me a picture, and I'm pretty sure I had seen the boxes. You can't miss the box. It's a giant plain white box, and it says the Canadian in silver. What I really wanted, and the Canadian's great, but I really wanted the Confederation. Ooh, that is a pretty looking train. It is so colorful, and the fact that it's a CN loco and a CP loco, and then a steam generator car, and then just all the passenger cars, and then the extra passenger car set. I think that would have been an amazing set to have. Such a cool looking train. But that got dumped. Apparently, not everyone felt the same. It happens. It happens. And then, like, they don't really announce that it's not going to happen. They just say, so take a look at this other new train that we're doing. And then, they keep saying that until they're like, okay, yeah, this is going to happen. The pre-orders went through. It's good. And then everyone forgets about the Confederation. Sad, really, but what can you do? The Discovery Train. I'd need to look that one up. Perry, what's in the Discovery Train? Yeah, Mike almost got a Canadian set, but it turns out the logos were just DC, and then as soon as you add the DCC and sound to it, the price seemed unreasonable. CP Maroon, Via, and Pac-Man. Can I buy the Via one off of you? You're like, no way, get out of here. Unsubscribe, unfollow. The Via one would be so nice to have. But my only concern were the wheels and the trucks that they used when those were made. The newer ones, from the dining car and the sleeper manor, all those are all really good. They've come a long way with their trucks and wheels and their pickups, the lighting pickups and all that. But the older sets, because I've had some of the Super Continentals, and those trucks were terrible, and the wheels were terrible. So that's my only concern that I would have with buying, an old Canadian set. I do not blame you. We're still friends. Okay, let's see. Nice. Oh, looking forward to that. Intermountain did the Confederation locos. Yes. But what good are the locos without the cars, right? I know there was a guy at one point, I wouldn't be able to tell you what show it was, or where it was, or what year it was, but I remember seeing decal sheets of the designs for the Confederation cars. And I think he had both N scale ones and HO scale ones. But I never got them because I'm like, I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to get that set instead. And it never came out. So that's my luck in a nutshell. I should probably wash this brush. Hey, Willow Creek, how's it going? Muddy water. Yours runs good? Well, shoot. I don't know. Maybe it was the ones that I had. I don't know. Because not the Confederation train, the Super Continentals. they didn't want to seem to stay on the actual track. They derailed very easily. So I often had issues with them. I was not a huge fan. And the couplers, but the couplers are an easy change. I did change them to, what was it, 148s or 158s? I can't remember. I think they were 148s that I changed them to, and they worked a lot better. Ashton, did you ever change out anything on the cars, or were they good right out of the box? Only ran the CP maroon version at the Whitby train show years ago. It ran 6 hours with no issues. Nice. I did, Lauren. Dip my pulse. Yeah, I did. I'm got so many here that I'm doing. I did the yellow ones. I had to replace my yellow ones that sold. So, oh, you. They're hot. The longer cup. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you got to make like little adjustments. Um, it happens, but not every car is going to be perfect, right? Yeah, Lauren, just to kind of show you. I don't know if I can move this without disturbing it. Ooh. I'm gonna botch this thing for sure. There, see? You can see it. They look like little twinkling stars. They're not. It's yellow tips. That took a while, and I have another 6 cars to go. Oh man. Okay, I wonder if these are dry yet. They look okay. So let's kind of show you guys the lumber loads. Put these. Loading up the lumber. Okay, here we go. It'll probably look a lot nicer once it's weathered and they're tied down and whatnot. But yeah, there's if I can move them down a bit. There. Now I just got to do the other side, which is going to take, more lumber. I need more lumber. And they're great. They just sit on there very nicely. But if I'm going to run this thing around the layout, I would totally need to tie these loads down because I've got banked curves and all that stuff. So I wouldn't want these falling out when I'm, pulling a train. This is an Atlas. This is the O&R one. So that means it's okay to lift from here. If you guys have ever seen the packaging for the Rapido ones, don't lift from the top bar. All right. Well, that was 2 hours. So in the 2 hours that I was live here, I did my trees, and I'll show you here real quick, just as a recap. These are the trees that I did. They are the super trees. I'm going to add these to the layout later. They're probably already dry. I could probably go ahead and add them now, but I got to go have some lunch. We did the pipes for the pipe car, and we did pipes for the bulkhead and lumber loads. I feel like I got a lot of stuff done today. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, I feel real good about it. So I'm just going to cover this here so that that doesn't dry out. And we will be back next week, and I will work on even more stuff, because there's always something to work on. I should have those reefers by then. So I'll have to make some O&R reefer cars. Either way, I want to thank everybody for watching, for joining in today. Especially Lauren for swinging these pipes around. Yeah, I Dave, you're right. I get motivated by watching other guys as well, and then if I can pass that on somehow, if doing any of this motivates you to break out those kits and get working on them, do some of the little stuff too, detailing, weathering, graffiti. As Tim would say, they make it like that. But we're just working away. We're having fun, and hanging out with you guys, of course, is huge. I love doing this live, and I love sharing the hobby with all of you. And we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep plugging away. But you guys, oh yeah, fireside chat tonight at 6:30. Lauren is going live. I'm pretty sure Mike is going to be there as well. And so make sure you join in for that. Look forward to that. I'll be working, unfortunately, so I'll be in the background, hanging out too while I'm working, half working. But we'll see you guys later. You guys have yourselves a great week. Tomorrow night, of course, Trackside Mike and Dundas Junction Model Railroad, 7 o'clock. And then we have got Tim over on They Make It Like That on his channel on Thursday. And then we'll be back here next week. You guys have yourselves a good one. Happy modeling, everyone.